A very good day to you and welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Jadel Kabir. It's always a pleasure to have you joining us for these conversations which I hope will help our political leaders in making better policy and political moves. Prof, I don't think our leaders listen to these conversations.
They
although,
do. They do.
If you look at the situation that is happening in the country, we've been talking about don't be clever, we've been talking about feel the pulse of the country. But you look at the situation now, it's all about opposition working with government despite Kenyans calling for strong opposition. PNU says we are leaving. You know, Raila should make a stance, you know, whether he's in opposition or with government. What do you make of this general situation despite what Kenyans are saying?
It's just what politicians are good at. Power, there is so much we know about power, but there's so much we don't know about power. Power confuses even the best among us. Power can be so overwhelming. And like Michelle Obama, in her book, Becoming, what she says is, power does not change who we are. Power reveals who we are. So this is to say, many of these leaders you see are just overrated. Most of them are just useless fellows. They are overrated. Those who know them from close range sometimes wonder what is wrong with us. Why are we elevating people to near God status when they are just useless fellows? I'm no particular individual. I'm talking in a very general way. So that's why you may think people are seeing and you may blame them, but it's a question of capacity. Do they really have the capacity for the jobs for which they have been given? When you see a minister completely out of depth, completely confused, sometimes you think it's because he's looking for money or he's corrupt. But sometimes, many times I've come to the conclusion, very shockingly, that it's just capacity.
Very shockingly. They just can't handle it.
They just can't. Many people can't. Because even in ordinary life where we work, where we interact with people, where we go for meetings, you sit in a meeting and wonder, why am I a genius? Obvious things people are not seeing. So it's not everybody with the capacity, mental capacity to do things. You get it? So how then do they get into these big positions? One, they are historical accidents. Just an accident. Being there at the right time. You are a Johnson Kamau, later Jomo Kenyatta. You are almost a playboy somewhere at Dagoretti. You know? Almost pimping Kikuyu girls for soldiers, white boys, Majoni. But you know how to read and write because you are a meter reader. And the Wazes are looking for somebody to take down their minutes. Then you are the one. You are Daniel Arap Moi. And the Masai Kameno man who is representing Rift Valley has resigned. He doesn't want that job. So people are asking the whole of Rift Valley, is there anybody? So, kuna mwalimu mwingine huko Baringo. Anaitwa Daniel Arap Moi. So you are there at the right time. You may not have anything special about you. Sometimes it is fate. And Shakespeare has explained it very well. You know, there is fate. Sometimes there is inheritance. You inherit by virtue of family lineage. Yeah?
Yes.
Sometimes you get to big places because your father was a minister. So you became an MP, Kina Mudavadi, and you become a minister, and you may become president. And I'm not talking about Mudavadi. I'm just talking why you need to understand some of these guys are just useless. Sometimes you have reached there because of academic accolades. You've gone to Form 4, Form 6 during our day, you have passed, you burn the meat. Kuna watu wanasoma mpaka unafikiri kichwa itaruka. Mmelala mnaamuka when I was in school. Somebody amechukua candle ameweka chini ya blanket because if they see light in the dormitory, watakuja kumchapa. So amejifunika blanket na amewasha candle. Ama torch anasoma. So mtu kama huyo amesoma akapita degree ya kwanza ya pili but he's just an idiot. Faced with really world situations, really situations that call for understanding of the world and of things and with the ability to weigh things, to analyze things, to put things in perspectives. He's useless, but he has paper qualification. So there are a lot of these people up there who are just useless fellows.
And that's why Kenyans are going even for the advisors. They're saying, who is
there are
advising
things you can see why they are doing that.
the president? Now look at the moves he's making.
And then, of course, finally, there's power, which blinds, which there's no problem about it. It does blind. You may be all these good things I'm saying, but power blinds. Power consumes. So those are some of the reasons why they may be seeing, but they don't see.
Now look at the moves the president is making in the cost.
And we are not talking about the president.
Now we are going to the president.
Yeah, let's go to the president now.
Let's separate the two. Let's
Yes.
go to the president. You know, he's in coast region trying to woo the people of the coast region, telling them about the developments, the promises that is coming with. He's going back, as Nation put it, old tactics, you know, back to politics and promising. What do you think he hopes to achieve with this? Public opinion, public perception, public goodwill?
The president wants to win back the public because he has lost the public. He loves the crowds. He loves power. So the president wants to get back that love people had for him, the crowds. So he'll go out of his way to have those crowds. But a long-term strategy is for him to get back to the presidency, 2027. That's what he's doing. But the bigger question, and I keep asking people, that's why we must start our podcast, so that we have enough time to engage.
Yes.
What is the purpose of getting power? Why do you want to be president? So what? So what? This question, many of these people cannot answer you. It's not about money. Because what is this money? What will you do with this money? This money is just useless. If you have billions and you want more billions, for what now, basically? You must be a fool unless you are stupid. You can't just be piling billions upon billions. When will you ever use them? Who are you going to leave them for? You leave, so is it money they are pursuing? There must be something they are pursuing. And the problem with our leaders today in Africa and in the world in general, they are under the control of the so-called globalists who want to change the world, who want to turn human beings into machines, who want to change life completely the way we know it. Some of who are even doing experiments with human beings, like guinea pigs. So why would I be a president to serve Bill Gates with his experiments on human beings? I will tell him off. I better go home. I will not be president. What for? What is the purpose?
So this...
What is the purpose? Why would I be president so that people may bring GMO here?
Yeah.
So what is the purpose of being president? I mean, do they ever ask themselves that question?
Because
what is the purpose?
You're not in charge.
Yes. So what is the purpose? I'm not any of those things, but I'm very happy with my life. So what is that question I can't answer. What is the purpose?
So if you look at the situation we're looking at in the country, yes, there's a lot of politics, there's a lot of Gen Z, revolution that is happening. Where do you strike a balance between, in terms of understanding how things are in the country? Because the president is trying to put things back together, but he's making the same, moves, which the Gen Z are looking at and saying, this is not what we want. We want a different kind of governance style. What is happening? I'm trying to get there, but it's a little difficult. That's why I want a podcast. Mm.
You have more time to explain things. You see, the Gen Zs have said what we need to do. What they are saying is not new. It is a style of saying it and a forceful way of doing it. But what they are saying, we all know. We all know we have a rotten cabinet, don't we?
Yeah.
We all know government functionaries are all rotten, corrupt, murderers, rapists, most of them, right?
Yeah.
We all know the shoddy contracts they are. Government is entering into contracts with Chinese people, with whatever. The airport with these Indians. We know those things. So the Gen Zs are not saying anything new. But they are saying it in a way that you can't ignore them. So now the president, seeing that you cannot ignore the Gen Zs, is making a move. Or let's just say moves. Some of which you have said, like going to the coast, bring people back. The question you must ask yourself, doesn't the president know what he needs to do? He knows. What do you need to do? You just need to do the right thing. Without being clever, without playing games. Is that right? Yes. So the second question is, why is he not doing what he knows he ought to do? Instead, he's playing this usual game. You say he's going back to the usual style.
Yes.
Why do you think he's doing that? Because most African presidents are captives of the West, who sometimes help put them in power and maintain them in power. But now the situation is worse for African leaders because it's about globalists with their agenda. You see?
Yeah.
Mbogo has put it so well, I cannot try to put it better than him. What they want with the world, especially Africans. So in that situation, you are doing somebody's bidding and that person has such a control over you, so powerful, that you cannot do the right thing. Because if it wasn't for that, what the president needs to do is just the right thing.
So you look
And the right thing,
yeah.
when it comes to Kenya, will not cost him anything.
So
In fact, he will just, if I'm the president of this country, and by the way, I'm considering, and take me seriously, I might run for president of this country. If I'm the president of this country, I will just be enjoying at the cost. Because I'll just put systems in place. Watu wanafanya kazi tu. It's a very simple job. This is a small, tiny country of 50 million people. You know, sometimes I wonder this country. Hata watu wamesoma mimi nawaulizanga. Mulisoma nini hii mulisoma? India has almost, it has gone 1.45 billion people. Please. How many people?
1.4, 1.3 billion.
China. But they are feeding those people. And coming to give you stupid loans. And constructing your roads. You are only 50 million people. Do you know, for your information, when India is conducting its elections, the population of Kenya cannot supply enough election officials. If all of us from total zaliwa asubuhi mpaka mzee anakaribia kufa. All of us were to go and conduct Indian election, we are not enough. You can see the magnitude, how huge the country is. But they are feeding themselves. India today is a giant. First, it has replaced the UK as the world's fifth largest economy, fifth or something largest economy. It has replaced the UK. UK made us the world top economy.
Yeah.
India today is rivaling America and the rest of this country in space technology. We don't need to talk about China because it is the biggest lender now in the world. If people can handle a population of 1 billion plus, what is so difficult handling 50 million people? It shows, when I say we are stupid people, please take me seriously. If I become president of this country today, in 5 years, 5 short years, you can't know you are in Kenya. You will not believe it. If I was lucky to do 10, and the people came back who have not been here, watarudi kwa ndege, sema we are not in Kenya, we are going, tulikuwa tunaenda Kenya.
But we go back to that point of...
Look at an airport. We can't construct an airport. We must give some Indian. An airport in the 21st century. We can't construct an airport. An airport. Kulima tu na kuweka kokoto hapo chini na mawe kusindilia na kutengeneza runway lami. We must give an Indian to do it and run our airport on a no question asked basis. You know what that means?
Yeah.
They will run the airport for 30 years without us asking any question. Regarding anything whatsoever. How much they cost, they charge people. How stupid can a country be? That's what I'm telling you.
So
we have a problem.
We go back to two things. Goodwill from the president to make things change.
Yes.
Or dealing with these globalists. Because the question has always been for African leaders. For African leaders, how can we balance? Because I'd want...
They should talk to the president of Turkey. What Erdogan or whatever it's called. They should talk to him. He knows how to deal with these fellows. Anacheza na wewe akiona mzina na kupika tega na ngwea huyo. Today is very easy for Kenya. When you see the West is coming too much, you talk to China. Wanakuja wanakupembeleza. When you see China taking too much advantage, unaita Russia. Unacheza nao tu vile Turkey wanacheza nao. Na maisha inasonga. Today is not what Gaddafi went through. Because Gaddafi was up against one power. And that was the US and the NATO. Kina Saddam. But today, China is back on the global scene. China wasn't on the global scene. China was doing its own thing chini ya maji. Kumbe they are creating wealth and saving. Now they are biggest lenders in the world. Russia had gone through a lot of, first of all, Russia was a pariah state when it was USSR. It had been painted so black. If you are seen dealing with them, USSR, you are completely blacklisted and everything bad you can even. So, but now, China is there. Russia has come back in force. The US is there. There are many other players.
The Arabians are here.
Yes, Arabs are coming up.
Yes.
With big dollar, even a small country like Qatar. So, you cannot be at the mercy of anybody. Not America, not Russia, not China, not globalists. It was very difficult for the likes of Gaddafi. Because you are going up against one power in the world. Especially after the collapse of the Berlin Wall. And the end of the USSR. Today, Russia is a force to reckon with.
Well, that is the mountain, but let's look at the molehill here in Kenya, because
Yes.
it's all about, you also have to balance with Raila. That has always been the case.
Yes.
But if you look at the situation now, do you have to also deal with Raila?
You don't have to. You know, that's what I'm saying. You don't need to deal with Raila. Unamwambia Raila, go to hell. Go and play your opposition politics. I don't want you in State House. Hii mitego ya Gachagua itakushika. Hii mitego ya Gachagua itakushika. Hii mitego itakushika Raila. Chunga. Toka hapa State House. Why? Why can you tell of why do you have the courage? Because you are doing the right thing. And the things have been identified for you.
Yes.
These Genesis have identified things. We knew them, but these are bright boys and girls. So they have seen the way they have seen things the way we could not see them. And they have put them so clear. Hapa, apana. Hapa, yes. Hii ongeza kidogo, hii toa. Hii to hapa. Si unafanya hiyo tu. None of which is a challenge to your presidency. I have not had anything, not even one, which the president is being asked to do, which is a threat to his presidency. Even one. You know, if you look at the world today, there are countries in turmoil. Some of them even just friction, not turmoil, internal friction, where the leadership of a party or a country is being asked to do things that are very difficult. Imagine if you are the Prime Minister of Israel and you are being asked, there's a conversation among young people even in Israel. You saw on American campuses, the anti-Israeli kind of demonstration, what have you. Supposing you are the Prime Minister of Israel, and the conversation is in the country is about honest peace with Palestine. Is that a small issue to handle? Is it small?
No.
You go to bed, the head wants to burst.
Yes.
The issue you are being told to handle.
Yes.
Is Ruto being asked to handle even an eighth of a problem that big? Is there anything like that? There are things you touch, even deep state can assassinate you. Because you are changing the country as it is known, as people have always known, if it's Israel, if it's America. Supposing Obama, for example, when he became president, supposing he decided, because he's a black man, to do things that will right historical injustice against black people and other minority races. Supposing he decided, this is the last, from today we are not supporting Israel. How safe will he be? How safe would he have been? Safe? How risky was that?
Yeah.
In other words, the point I'm trying to make, there are leaders in the world, the issues they face are so complex. Some of them choose to resign than face them. Some of the challenges are so difficult in places like India sometimes. You make a decision like this, you either lose power or you are assassinated. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Getting you.
Do we have such a problem in this country? Has somebody put a demand on the president which threatens his presidency or his life? Zero. People are just asking. Badala kutupatia hawa mafala hawa. Si tupatie watu watufanyie kazi. Kwani what is difficult with that? Just looking at Kenya and say, Manyora, shika hii Ministry of Agriculture. Nyoroshea wa Kenya with the promise that in the next 3 years and going forward, Kenya will be a net exporter of food. Manyora kai kilimo house. In 3 years, not only will Kenya be food sufficient, but we shall be supplying other countries with maize and other food products. wewe Jad, tunataka tufike World Cup in the next 5 years. Shika hii ilikuwa ya babu, alikuwa anacheza anakuwa kama playboys nini flamboyant, you know,
Tusuti.
kukaa kama kijana mdogo. Sasa imepewa Murkomen, sijui atawacha kuvaa viatu ama sasa hiyo ni wizara iko na wasichana wadogo sasa ndio wanazidi kuvaa vibaya. Sasa we Jad, chukua hii sports, the next World Cup Kenya ifike. That is what we are looking for. And that's what Gen Z is asking. That this country has potential. Can you give us men and women who can make us realize our potential so that we do not join our millennial brothers in the house jobless? Because my sister finished campus 15 years ago, she's jobless. My brother finished 8 years ago, jobless. Now me, I finished last year. I'm joining them in the house. Can you do something? Is that very difficult? That's what the Gen Z is asking. You don't need to play games with Raila. You just need to do the right thing.
Well, just do the right thing, Mr. President. That's from Herman Manyora. Thank you for tuning into this conversation. I hope we've covered mostly everything, every question that we, think about and we don't know even how to ask them. But have yourself a lovely rest of your day.